Hello and welcome to the latest edition of What Does the Giraffe Say with me, Kathleen Ritorne. We are an organisation that aims to connect people with conservation efforts around the world by holding live interviews on social media. It's all about spreading awareness and creating engagement, and today I am super excited because I am joined by Colby and Diana, and they are the founders of Gentle Giants. So I'm going to hand over to them and we're going to have a bit of a discussion about how they started the organisation. So maybe, Colby, if we start with you, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what prompted you to want to start Gentle Giants.
I've been in advocacy specifically for elephants probably only 4 years. It started with me actually just stumbling upon a rescue to Global Sanctuary for Elephants in Brazil, and I absolutely fell in love with the two ex-circus elephants, Maya and Gita. And from there, I mean, I knew things were going on, but I guess I just never, did my research and my education. So I started really reading a lot and connecting with people on Facebook and really starting to do a lot of advocacy of protests and signing petitions and talking to people and all of that. Then I got involved in helping organizations with campaigns and fundraisers and all of that. And Diana and I connected a couple years ago, and I visited Thailand 2 years ago when I met Lek in person. Lek did a very beautiful thing for me when I was in Thailand with Diana's help, and for that I will forever be grateful to both of them because we were able to save a very beautiful dog who was on the street, and to this day he's thriving, and it's a beautiful story for another time. But so when COVID hit, Diana had been talking to Lek, which I'll let her talk about, but we started thinking, what can we do for these captive elephants in Thailand, because everything was shutting down and they had no way to support themselves. And, with some quick discussion, because it was something that had to happen extremely quickly, Gentle Giants was born. And, we had like 6 weeks to put together a nonprofit, design a website, set up everything, and we launched on June 14th of 2020. So today is actually our 9-month anniversary, and we've just been, it's incredible everything that has happened. So it started with just advocating, and it just morphed into this very beautiful project that we now are doing to help, not just the elephants, but the communities and the caretakers and, local farmers and everything, which we'll discuss.
Excellent. And Diana, what's your story there?
My story, well, I am a person that is madly in love with Mother Nature and all its inhabitants. And all my life I've loved animals and see them as my equal. And about 7 years ago, I started to work towards helping elephants. And I just became involved in any group that had to do with elephants and started investigating and looking into real sanctuaries to visit, and traveled to Thailand, have been there several times. Lek and I became very, very, very good friends through Facebook. I would just send her messages and she started responding, and we became very, very close friends. And just when COVID hit, we were, Lek was sending SOS throughout the world to help her feed these elephants that were starting to have to migrate back home. We were on the phone daily trying to see how we could help them. And I had been working, like Colby says, we had been working together in different campaigns and writing petitions and all this. So finally, Lek and I said, they're walking home. What can we do now? Let's think of something. I contacted Colby and we started thinking of something. And this is when Gentle Giants was born. I said, I said, we're going to have to do something. Are you up for it? And Colby said, okay. not knowing that this would be, you know, one of the greatest adventures I think up to now in our lives. It has snowballed into something absolutely beautiful and magical, and you know, there's not a dull day that goes by.
I mean, one of the reasons that I was so excited to have you guys coming on the show is because of your passion and the work that you're doing, but also because you see the bigger picture. So I know that you're working alongside with the mahouts to find an alternative. Can you talk us through how this works and the kind of successes and challenges you've had here?
Yes, with the mahouts are people that when we were just advocates, and I say just advocates because now with Gentle Giants and working hand in hand with them, we understand their lives, the way they have been treated and their challenges and all of this. And we have come to the understanding that, you know, these are not the horrible, cruel people that we tend to see. Of course, they mistreat elephants, but we have also learned that they are these beautiful beings that if once they learn a better way, they are able to see their elephants in a better way, and they start treating them much better. So, you know, these people are mistreated in horrible ways, and they are paid very low wages. And at Gentle Giants, we pay them fair wages. We give them recognition of being individuals and people, and we treat them well, and they respond the same way. I think that has been a very great lesson for us, because of course, when we were working towards helping the elephants, we would just see these people are mistreating them, they're being cruel, but we weren't really understanding how they were being treated. And we have learned this, and we have learned that once we have created this bridge and we have worked with them, and we've extended kindness to them and compassion, they've responded in a beautiful way, in the way we wanted, which is not with us, but with their elephants.
So one thing that many people don't know is a lot of mahouts come from Myanmar. And now we're talking children. These are children, boys, any, you know, 16 younger, that have no paperwork, or, you know, so they are trafficked actually from Myanmar to become mahouts because they have no paperwork. No one keeps track of them. They don't know. I mean, they're children. They're just thrown into this. And sadly, there is a lot of alcohol and drug abuse that then happens. They make no money. You know, they have to send what they make back home to their families. So you can understand someone who doesn't know, they're in a strange place, they're treated like cattle, literally, you know, why they behave the way they behave. You know, they don't know any better, for one. They're very probably stressed and sad and angry, and, you know, so it is hard to say, oh, but look what they did to the elephant. How can you, you know, forgive that? Well, forgiveness is, you know, it doesn't mean we have to forget. But in order to move forward, we do have to forgive, and we have to teach another way. And go ahead, Diana.
You know, it's very important to understand that it's about forgiving. It's more about understanding where they come from, and it's being able to give them the opportunity to really learn a new way. And once they've learned a new way, we've seen the difference. We've seen the difference when we receive pictures and videos of our elephants every day. And at the beginning, the videos and the pictures were just of the elephant standing there, looking sad, looking this. And we're like, no, 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 you know, let them be elephants. And I think once they started they see elephants as a chair, or as someone they have to tend to, or someone knows something they have to tend to, but there's no love, there's no connection, there's no compassion. And they just feel like, you know, this is what I have to do. but it's because of the way they've been treated themselves. So, you know, they are like the garbage of the garbage of the garbage, and the elephant is even more than they are, and that's how they treat themselves. But when we see that, like with the pictures and the videos, and we have picture competitions and we have video competitions, and we give prizes to these mahouts for showing us happy elephants, having fun, the best pictures. People in our audience actually don't know that we've been having these competitions every month, and now I think for 4 or 5 months, and we send them prizes. And every time the pictures that we receive, they're even better and better. And I think they're starting to see I am sure they see their elephants through different eyes now, because they've been able to experience them in a different way. You know, all the elephants look happier and more relaxed, and they're having fun. And they themselves, the mahouts, had not been able to see an elephant having fun. They themselves had never been able to experience a nice, beautiful moment with their elephant. Is just, you know, get the tourist on their back, make them walk, come back, don't feed them. You know, it's just a whole bunch of things. And when I say don't feed them, is because many of the elephants are not fed throughout the day to keep them weak, so that they don't retaliate. You know, they don't want to. They don't have the strength to say, no, I'm not going to do this. So, you know, it's just giving them that opportunity. And that's what COVID has given us, the opportunity to give these people the time to learn a better way. And they have, and they've responded in a beautiful way. So it's about us walking in their shoes for a little bit and understanding where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So someone had commented that they had never heard of the mahouts. So just quickly, the mahouts are the people who are the caretakers of the elephants. So they're the ones that spend all the time with the elephants. They feed them. They're the ones who care for them. So it's very important. Their job right now is extremely important, because these elephants are free roaming in the forest. They have to have their mahouts, but you cannot just turn these elephants loose in the wild. They just would not survive. So the mahouts are there. They don't, they go and they sit and they do their thing, and the elephants do their thing. But the mahouts are there to make sure that they are kept safe, that, they don't wander into areas that they shouldn't. So they are the caretakers of the elephant. And one thing I would like to mention about the education is we do have teams on the ground in Thailand that are helping to educate. So it's not like we're just like, okay, change your ways.
Yeah.
We actually, thankfully, LEC has a team that works with us that goes to the villages and everything, and they talk to the elephant owners and the mahouts, and they talk about other ways of interacting with the elephants and keeping the elephants in a more humane, ethical way. So education is taking place on the ground in Thailand.
And many times it's given straight from LEC. LEC is the one that leads this. She leads by example, and she's the one that takes the time to teach them, and then she sends her team to make sure that they are following what she has taught them. So, none of this would be possible if it weren't for her beautiful, compassionate heart. She is the beautiful light, that pulls everything together and holds everything together.
So for those back home who might not be aware of who LEC is, do you want to give a bit of background with that?
LEC?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, LEC Charlotte. She is the most beautiful woman I have ever met. She's a beautiful light. She has been working to change the world of the elephants in Thailand. She is in Thailand for 25 years. She has been working so hard to end elephant slavery, elephant cruelty. She's been leading by example with compassion and love. She has her project, Elephant Nature Park, and she rescues elephants from horrible situations. She takes them there. She gives them a new, beautiful life. and and she has a great following. And this is, when COVID hit, and as I explained before, Lek and I are very, very good friends. And it's just amazing how she has been able. She's a tiny, 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 beautiful woman, and she has been able to change so many minds and so many hearts, and open our eyes to the reality of the tourist industry. And she is teaching with love. I mean, the only way I can explain what Lek does is that she leads by example, by spreading love. That's who she is. And she has been here in the United States several times. She did a movie called Love and Bananas. For the people that haven't watched it, you should. And she has just changed the whole structure of how we should see elephants and how we should interact with them. And that's what she continues to do. When COVID hit, it took COVID 3 weeks to dismantle all tourist attractions. And she had been trying for 25 years. So we have said it so many times before, COVID gave all advocates such an amazing opportunity to really now take this opportunity and change everything. No more trekking, no more slavery, no more, we have to learn to see elephants in a different way, and we have to learn to love them from afar. It doesn't mean we can't go and visit and, but we don't have to be interacting, touching, taking selfies, which really this causes elephants to suffer so much. We can just sit back and enjoy them, watch them be elephants without having to intervene in their family life or in their interaction. Why bathe an elephant? I always tell people, you wouldn't want me to go to your bathroom and start bathing you and scrubbing you. I mean, it's your time, and this is, I think we have to put ourselves in the elephant's feet and say, would I like this? Would I like for my children to be, touched and have a flash all the time and to be scrubbed? I mean, they're very much like us. Elephants are extremely sentient and beautiful beings. So Lek has been teaching us this, and she continues. She's the most powerful voice for Asian elephants, I believe.
Yeah. Coming back into what we were talking about with the mahouts, we have a question from Tina Reed, and she's asking, do you do any work with the mahouts to get them off the drugs and the alcohol to ensure that what we send to them changes their lives for the positive?
So nothing actively like a rehab program. Lek has always been at the forefront of creating new opportunities for the communities, the mahouts, the villagers, creating employment opportunities where they're making good wages. They have better lifestyles. They eat healthier. So, that is what we have tailored our program to, and what we hope is that by having a better quality of life, that, drugs and alcohol are obviously a multi-level, complicated, complex issue. You can't just say, by changing this will change. But we are hoping that by changing their environment, they're back with their families, they're back in the forest, they're making a good wage, their lifestyle is better. That's what we're working towards, is hoping that helps them to, change their lives for the better.
Is that like Colby explained, these are kids, these are young men that are sent out to, what many people also must understand is that the elephants that are in trekking camps are leased by the owner of the place, and the mahouts are sent from their villages with the elephants, and they have the worst life. Many of them sleep under bridges. It's horrible. Now that they're back home, they're under the care of their parents once again, under the care of their families. So changing this, not having, drugs and alcohol many times take place because they're either hungry, because of the situation they're living, because of the cruelty they are enduring. So being back home in their villages now gives them the opportunity to have a better life, like Colby just said, and also, their family have their eyes on them. So once they have them in the being nurtured again by their family, everything starts to change. And I think that's been the greatest impact, to see that these young men can be back home again, having a decent life, sleeping the way they're supposed to, and living a good life as well with their elephants.
And then feeding off that, with places unable to operate at the moment, is there then issues that those who do have the elephants aren't able to give them the correct welfare because they're not having that money anymore?
I'm sorry, what was you cut off when you asked the question?
Oh, okay. With everywhere closed due to COVID and no tourists, there's obviously no money coming into these mahouts. So then does that have a trickle down onto the effect that it has on the elephant's welfare?
That's why we have a sponsorship program. Gentle Giants was the first one to launch a sponsorship program. The first one in Thailand, the first one actually in Asia. Thankfully, other organizations saw what we had done and followed, and now launched what they call foster programs. It's exactly the same thing that we do as sponsorship programs. Because through the sponsorship, they sponsor an elephant and they can sponsor the mahout, and we are providing that. We are supporting them through those sponsorship programs. So of course, if the sponsorship program did not exist, then they would actually be having a lot of problems. Now, having said that, we have many hundreds and hundreds of elephants that are starving and that are dying. And we need, when people tell us, can you help here? Can you help there? We do the best that we can. Just yesterday, it was Thai Elephant Day, and we celebrated it. And thankfully, with all the donations from the donations that we have been receiving throughout these months and everything, we were able to send out so that we were able to donate tons and tons of food. So this is something that we do, but we need more support. We have, unfortunately, Lex shared some videos yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, of elephants in chains, swaying, dying. Many of them are dying, are starving to death. So of course, the fact that COVID is not allowing the tourists to go back to Thailand just yet, there are many suffering, and we are doing the best we can. When Lek calls us and says, can we help this elephant? It's been up to now, and thankfully, we never say no. We say, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we do it, and we do it, and we go, and we go. Thankfully, also, we were able to rescue and fully fund the rescue of 3 elephants. Gentle Giants paid for their, bought them and for their rescue and everything. And we do this because of our wonderful Gentle Giants family, right? But of course, we need to continue growing to be able to help more.
And going back to the mahouts, what I'd like to say is, with those 3 elephants, Lex needed to hire mahouts, so we're paying for the mahouts. So it's all tied together. Even Thai Elephant Day was bringing in tons. They had over 1,000 tons of food brought in, but it supported the local farmers, the people who picked all the produce and shucked the corn. I mean, that was a lot of corn to peel. The truck drivers that brought it all to EMP, and then the truck drivers that took it to all the elephants. I mean, those are creating more employment opportunities. So, this is just one big circle, a ripple effect, that the more we can help an elephant, the more we're helping, it ripples down the line. So, the mahouts are extremely important. And thankfully, we are able to help pay them fair wages, but there are still so many elephants, mahouts, owners, everything that need our help. And it all goes back to money.
Yeah. But having said that, I want to thank our beautiful Gentle Giants family. I always say we are a small family. Meaning that, you know, it's not like we have hundreds of thousands of followers. Someday we will, but we are a very powerful tiny family. You know, it's amazing when we put out a call and say, let's do this. When the 3 elephants, we had to raise $65,000 and we had 2 weeks, but then from 2 weeks they told us no, 3 days, and we had to raise $65,000 in 3 days, and it was just amazing. We did it and we surpassed our goal, and it was just the most beautiful thing that happened because everyone just came together. And there was one person that said, what if you don't raise the money? And I said, we can't allow ourselves to think like that. We are going to raise the money. We have to raise the money. We're not talking about furniture. We're talking about a life, and we're not going to let the opportunity of saving a life just, oh, we couldn't do it. No, we have to do it. It's like, that's the mentality we have. We have to do these things. Leslie, can I address this? Leslie is asking if the elephants roam free 24/7. No, Leslie, they can't roam 24/7 because they have to be under the care of the mahouts, and the mahouts have to rest. So they roam throughout the day, and then they're taken back into the village and to their enclosures, and everyone rests.
Excellent. I think as well, it's testament to the work that you guys are doing, and the reason why your Gentle Giants family are so interactive and supportive of what you're doing. Tina Reed is actually asking, kind of following into the support side, they're asking if on your sponsor program, are you able to add how many sponsors are for each elephant? She's always looking for the elephants and mahouts who have none or are the most in need.
Colby, do you want to address that?
So every elephant we have, we have to get 8 sponsors per elephant every month. It's the same for their caretakers. 8 sponsors for every caretaker every month. So unfortunately, because we have over 100 elephants under our care, we don't have the capacity to constantly be saying, this one needs more sponsors, this one needs more sponsors. We try to do that in our posts, but what we always say is they always need sponsors, every single one of them. So just lead with your heart. Whoever calls out to you sponsors them. You can start at the top, work your way down, start at the bottom, work your way up. I mean, we will never, ever say, oh, well, this elephant didn't get any sponsors, so he's going to have to stand over here and watch everybody else eat. We will always make sure that all of our elephants are cared for and all of their caretakers are cared for. So exactly. Sponsor any elephant you want and you know, and their caretaker, and we will make sure that every single one of the ones that are in our project is taken care of. And we get that question all the time, but we literally, so Diana and I both have full-time jobs. This is all strictly volunteer, and we do everything. So, you know, Diana and I are working constantly. So if we had a huge team, obviously we could, you know, keep track of, okay, how many sponsors this elephant got this month, and you know, and we do check on that as often as we can, so we can do a post on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. But we literally just don't have enough hours in the day to do everything. So people, you know, we love it when people send us an email or a Facebook message and say, hey, can you please tell me who I should sponsor? We're happy to provide names, but literally, like I said, you know, we need 16 sponsors per group every month. So meaning elephant and their caretaker. So just, you know, if you fall in love with one, then, you know, that make them a part of your family.
If you love mamas, we have tons of mamas. If you want to go with the dual mama baby, go with the mom. Just go with whoever pulls your heart. That's the best advice I can give you. You know, if you want the bulls, we have people that just love bulls. Go with the bulls. We have gorgeous bulls. You know, Kavan is one of our gorgeous bulls you can sponsor. You know, we have so many young ones, teenagers, older ones, whatever you want. Whoever calls your heart, sponsor them.
Excellent. And with people being in lockdown due to COVID, do you think people are becoming more empathetic towards how it feels to be captive and unable to get out? Have you seen maybe a change in attitude towards captive animals?
You know, I think that I have seen a change in people, in more in captive animals, and also in understanding the pain of not being able to love and hug and kiss and be close to the ones we love.
Yeah.
Because, and we do this when I always tell people, please keep away from taking a picture with the baby's elephants, because you're pulling a baby elephant away from the mother. You are literally tearing them apart. So, you know, I have seen that people now have a better understanding that when we go to the zoo, where we have put these beautiful beings in cages and we have ripped them away from their families. And if we feel the pain of not being able to hug, I haven't been able to see my mom for more than a year and hug her, and I'm dying to. And, you know, but I saw her last year. These are beings that go without their children, without their mothers, without their brothers, without everyone for their whole life, thanks to our selfishness. And COVID has really put a big spotlight on this, saying, you don't like it, you're suffering, this is what you're doing to others, stop it.
And I think the media is picking up a lot more of trying to explain, this is, I've seen so many articles, this is how these animals feel. But we're living in our homes that we created, that have all our stuff, and we have TVs and phones and computers and soft beds and, you know, yards to go out in, and our fur babies and stuff. These animals in captivity are on concrete behind bars. They don't get to choose when to eat. They don't get to choose when to go out of their barn or in their barn. You know, we really have to keep fighting really hard. I did see an article recently, and I wish I could remember the name of it. Somewhere it's building this resort where it's actually the opposite. So the humans will actually be contained, and the animals are going to have this enormous area to roam wild, and the people cannot interact with them. And I'm like, wow, that's a fabulous idea. You know, so I think that there is a movement. There are a lot of Brazil, South America is really progressive in their animal welfare. They're changing many of their zoos to ecological parks and rehoming their large wild animals and sending them to sanctuary. And they're a great role model. And I hope that other countries begin to do this as well. I think it's kind of phasing out having elephants, you know, in zoos. I see that a lot of zoos are closing their elephant exhibits once those elephants they have are gone. They will not get any more. But sadly, then we have the opposite of like China, who continues to purchase baby elephants, not only to send to China, but China has now moved into Thailand. Elephants in Thailand right now are extremely inexpensive because of COVID. People have dropped the price below half what they were selling them for. China has now moved into Thailand, is buying up these elephants to create their own venues of the circus and trekking camps. And so now we have them there also. So, you know, this is really in the hands of the tourists. Tourists could shut this down worldwide if they would just stop attending unethical and inhumane venues. It's the
Exactly.
tourists really hold the key to ending all of this.
Exactly.
And I think we continue to fight for that.
Exactly. I think if we all, as citizens of the world, we all take a stand and say, I will not take part of this, we end it. We end the demand, we end the cruelty, we end the slavery. And I think that COVID has given us an amazing lesson. You know, humans, we are very arrogant, thinking that we are this the best species that walks the earth. In my personal opinion, we're not. You know, we take and destroy absolutely everything. We don't understand we're just one more in the circle of life, not the circle of life. You know, so I think that COVID has really set us. And I hope we're learning the lesson, because if we're not, it's going to be worse and worse and worse. But you know, I think COVID has told us you're one visitor more on this earth, that just like any that they've taken everything from us. You know, they took our family, they took our freedom, they took our jobs, they took you know, many things. And just like we've done to other species for hundreds and hundreds of years. So I think it's time we realize that we're just one more, and the arrogance just has to disappear.
You know, another thing, Kathleen, is let's talk about the environment and climate change. So I think that it was incredible about, what, 2 months after COVID shut everything down, to see the amount of animals like at Yellowstone returning. They've been there, but nobody knew they were there because they hid from people. To see no smog in the air, the beautiful blue skies, and what it's done for our environment. And I think a lot of people have gone, wow, you know, because in our day-to-day, we just kind of go along and we don't notice things and everything else. And one of the other important things about returning the elephants to the forest is so much damage was done to the forest in northern Thailand from logging. So much deforestation, which, you know, affected many species of plants and animals. So by returning the elephants to the forest, who are keystone species, we are in a sense helping reforest many of the areas, which of course helps, you know, ecosystems and the environment and the climate and all of that. So, you know, conservation, it's a big issue on our plate too. You know, we want to make sure that there's still places for these elephants to go, because there aren't enough sanctuaries. You know, one thing we say is we can't take every elephant to sanctuary, but we can bring sanctuary to them. And that means we have to preserve the natural habitat for them to be in.
Exactly.
I mean, we've touched on it quite a bit throughout the conversation with COVID. I mean, the whole idea was born because of COVID. So there has actually been some roundabout benefits from this terrible pandemic. We've got lots and lots of comments coming through. Really nice. A lot of support you guys have got. It's so nice to see.
Thank you.
We're also getting lots of comments on asking how people can support you. What's the best way of doing it? Have you got any other ways for them to help?
The best way to support us, donate. You know, you could go to the dentalgiant.org. You can sponsor, and some people tell me, or many people tell us, I don't have money, but how I want to help. Share our posts, please. That is just so helpful. Share, talk, let people know about us. You know, the more you spread the word, the bigger we get, the stronger we get. And, you know, our beautiful GG family grows each day stronger and stronger in numbers and in power. We are a beautiful growing family, which actually I do want to give a shout out to 3 members of our gorgeous family that came together just recently, Tammy Pretlove and Sarah Lyons, and someone that wants to remain anonymous. You know, Tammy contacts me and she says, you know, I was going to be spending this money going to Thailand this year to do my volunteer work, but I want to donate this with my friends to be able to do a match for you guys. And I imagine that this is wonderful. So, you know, these are the type of supporters we have of part of the members of our family that love and give so selflessly. So if you want to be a part of our family, if you want to be part of this change, if you want to be part of this new way, donate if you can, share, talk about us, go out and just, you know, tell people thedentalgiants.org, visit them, talk about ending slavery. That's another way to help us. You know, even if you feel embarrassed about asking people go donate, tell them just to visit our website and tell them to please help us end slavery, the suffering of our gentle giants. That's like the main thing for us, is for our gentle giants under our care to thrive and be as happy as they can be. And for the gentle giants that continue to suffer and haven't reached us yet, if you donate, we'll be able to rescue more, to bring in more. And we also want that once COVID is done, we need to work so that tourists don't go back to the trekking camps, tourists don't go back to the circus, tourists don't go back to being part of this cruelty. So that's the way you can help us, by helping them.
And following from that, we had a comment come through. I think it was from Tina. Apologies. We've had so many comments coming through. It's actually difficult for me to keep up. But she was asking how about if they have a skill that they can help, like in terms of volunteering their time to be able to support you.
We have been asked this question a lot now. Volunteering, you know, right now when the borders open, many people will be able to go back to volunteering either at EMP. We're organizing things so that we have volunteer opportunities also at the villages. You know, everything is developing right now. We have something exciting news that we will share in the future, not today, but in the future, of someone that has beautiful skills. I'll just say her name, Tanya. That something wonderful is coming. So, you know, contact us. And if we see a way, you know, if we could use your beautiful abilities to help us some way, absolutely. You know, we will talk about it. We take time to Zoom with everyone. Everyone for us is absolutely important. Every skill may come very handy. So we listen to everyone. We're open eyes, open ears, and open arms.
Excellent. Okay. And then following on from that, I know we've been putting people on tenterhooks a little bit because you guys were teasing us with an announcement. So let's put these people out of their misery. So you asked a question, a foot for who? Can you tell us finally what this means?
A foot for who? Yes. You know, just a couple of months ago, we all saw beautiful Mai walk from where she was to EMP. She had to walk I think it was just 1 kilometer. It would have taken her a few minutes to walk that distance, but she was in horrible, horrible condition, starving, weak, fragile, and with a very, very affected knee. Every step she took was excruciating. Just looking at her, it hurt. Everyone, you know, was very worried that she wouldn't even make it. Lek walked with her. It was a beautiful walk. But this beautiful being, she did everything she could because she knew that Lek was leading her to survive, to be able to live. Wherever they were taking her, she just had to get there because she knew she was going to survive. We all saw this. The world has fallen madly in love with Mai. And Colby and I, since she was rescued, there hasn't been a day where we think, how can we make her life better? How can we help her thrive? Now she's at EMP receiving excellent care. We are giving her beautiful additional supplements. She puts on weight because she was grossly underweight. You know, they're sending her from around the world cakes, delicious cakes that she gets for special, you know, extra nutrition. everyone has jumped in and fell madly in love with her. So Colby and I, every day, what do we do? What do we do? People sending us messages. What about her knee? What's going on with her knee? What's happening with her knee? And then it dawned on us that there's this wonderful person whose name is Derek Campana, he does miracle work in orthotics, and he has worked, to put prostheses and all kind of things on all kinds of animals. So we contacted him, and he immediately said, absolutely. So a foot for who is also, because when we started, we arranged the call with Alec and Dr. Tom, and what can we do and how can we do it, and now we need to fix her leg and how we're going to do this, and he's going to be making this amazing brace. And then we said, okay, but there are others that might need some help that he can help with. Well, we thought of Baby Kunde. Baby Kunde is a very famous baby at EMP. He's about 10 years old. He was rescued when he was about 1. He's a snare victim, and he's missing half a foot, or probably a little bit more. And he's receiving beautiful care at EMP, but he's missing that foot. So he hasn't been able to really enjoy his life that much because of it. So a foot for who is a foot for Kunde. We are going to be, I say we as if I'm going to be participating in this actual thing. I'll participate, but not making the foot. Derek Campana is going to be making that foot for our baby Kunde. And I'll let Colby take over, and she can share who else is getting a foot or what else they're getting.
So I'm sure many people know Derek. He's the founder of Bionic Pets. Derek actually made a brace for Jabu, who is a beautiful, enormous bull elephant in Africa. That was when I first discovered Derek, and I've followed his work ever since. Now, Derek has made orthotics for tens of thousands of animals, everywhere from a guinea pig to a stork to a horse to an elephant. He's an amazing, compassionate, wonderful man. So we were very excited to be speaking to him. So we were happy that we were going to get a brace for Mai's dislocated knee. Then we're going to get a prosthesis for Kunde's foot. Then we continue to talk. We have another elephant, Malai Tong, who also is missing part of her foot. And it's very painful for her to walk. So she will be getting a prosthesis. Tycoon had an injury to her foot. Now, these injuries are caused by snares and landmines, which are quite still common over in Asia. So Tycoon has an injury to her foot, but it's caused her to walk so crooked that her elbow now is disjointed. So she's getting help to be able to walk normally. And then we have, Mr. Cow. Why Mr. Cow? Because how could we say no? And we're going to be sharing all of this on our page so you can see the different injuries and how they're walking and how it's going to improve. You guys will be able to follow us through the entire process. So Mr. Cow was born with no legs past his knees. He just has little nubs. He's just a year old. He's beautiful. But he has to walk. He walks like this because he has to walk on the little nubs, But Derek will be making his legs. So Mr. Cow will be able to walk and run. And, Dr. Tom is amazing. He is, all of these animals are taken care of at EMP so wonderfully. Their quality of life has improved tenfold just being at EMP. So, you know, they have done everything in their power to help. My Mai, her leg has improved so much, just reducing the inflammation and eating better, and all of the stuff Dr. Tom has done. And Dr. Tom built this, we'll show you what it is. He tried to build a type of wheelchair for Mr. Cow, and it just didn't work. So, I mean, it's just going to be amazing to see all of these animals, you know, have what the support that they need. You know, we're calling them our bionic giants.
They are going to they're going from being gentle giants to bionic giants. I mean, imagine that. We have been, I hardly slept last night because I just can't imagine baby Kunde, who I know personally, who I've seen personally, and the way he, you know, they do the best they can at EMP to give them the most beautiful life. But for him to now be able to have his little foot, you know, I think all of us have had a foot injury sometime, or we hit our toe against something, we know the pain and the discomfort to walk, or in our hand or a shoulder, we broke a leg, we broke an arm, whatever it is. We know the importance of our limbs. So imagine that now our beautiful Gigi family is going to take part in making these beautiful beings bionic and whole. Just being able to see Mr. Cow, who now has to literally walk on his knobs because he doesn't have anything else, to be able to be as tall as he is naturally, and to be able to walk as he should walk with his prosthesis is just going to be magical. It's just, imagine how we're going to be able to see them thrive and how the quality of their life is going to change. And we're all going to come together and give them this. This is just like the most fulfilling, for me, it's the most fulfilling feeling right now. I feel, you know, my heart just bursts with excitement and love and compassion, and to even think that, you know, Tycoon is going to be living pain-free, and that, you know, our beautiful, gorgeous Mai has an opportunity to fix her knee. You know, there was a very sad comment I saw on one of Lex's threads when she was giving an update about Mai, and someone said, isn't it better to put her down? And I want to tell everyone out there, we don't put down people nor anyone that wants to live. You know, we just don't do that. Mai made that effort to walk because she wants to live. And all of these other gentle giants that are living in pain right now because they're missing a limb, because of everything, and EMP is giving them the most beautiful lives, even with this pain, they are thriving and they are living, and it's just going to get better now that we have Derek Campana working his gorgeous magic, his miracle with us. So, you know, it's so exciting. It really, since we have been working this, it's been such an exciting, such an uplifting and positive moment at Gentle Giants.
I mean, that's such an incredible story. I cannot wait to be following that and just seeing how that progresses. It's fantastic news, and I'm super chuffed, and it's a great initiative. Exactly. I'm mindful that we've got around 5 or 6 minutes left. We've got loads of comments coming through to the point I actually am seriously struggling to keep up with them all. So we have a few questions that have been coming through. So we have one that's just come through from Jenny Desmond. Hi, Jenny. She works a lot with chimpanzees. She's saying, sorry she joined late, but can you highlight the top actions being taken to stop the trade, law enforcement, revision, etc., with key partners? Is there work that's being done behind the scenes here with government, for example?
Oh, absolutely. LEC works at the Parliament, and she is working to change the laws and to protect all animals, not only elephants, but all animals. So yes, of course, you know, it's not us directly at Gentle Giants, but our partner, Lex Charlotte, is working with the government to, you know, to change laws.
And Save the Asian Elephant Foundation, they are really pushing hard to get a ban on the advertising of these unethical venues in the UK. So if they can ban that, travel agencies will not be able to advertise the trekking camps and the circus venues, and we really stand behind them. But what I want to point out that's extremely important is once that ban goes through, and these places, you know, they're closed now, but we have to keep them closed. We have to consider what comes after the ban. You know, just like when we ban circuses, what comes after that? Where do the animals go? So, you know, we really want people to support Gentle Giants in the steps we're taking to keep these elephants home. You know, we're all behind the ban, and we will fight till it happens, but we have to consider the future of the elephants once that happens.
Exactly. The life of the elephants, which elephants can live 70, 80 years. So, and they're huge, and we need food, space, enclosures, mahouts. You know, it's not like people say, can you help this elephant? Okay, where do we take the elephant? Who is going to be paying for their long-term care? So it's very important. Before I forget, we are launching a campaign. If you can, please donate for all these beautiful feet and braces. Please, please help us so that we can get a foot for Kunde and for Mala Taitong, and for Mr. Cow his legs, and for Tycoon, and of course the brace for our gorgeous Mai. We're launching a campaign called Bionic Giants. It's on.
I've shared the link. I've shared the link in the comments, and then we will be posting. Leslie Randall's comment: will a documentary be made? You're just gonna have to follow us to see.
I mean, who's not going to want to watch a documentary about bionic elephants? It'll be fascinating.
Yes, yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm going to start to wrap up now. There's a ton of questions coming through. Unfortunately, ladies, I think I've given you more work to do, because there's going to be some responses that you're going to need to make on some of the questions. But yeah, before we say goodbye, I just wanted to see if there's anything that you wanted to say to wrap up.
I want everyone to please embark on this awesome journey of the Bionic Giants with us, and to continue supporting our Gentle Giants, to keep them home, to make them happy, and to be with us, continue walking with us. And thank you for walking with us on this amazing journey of making the world a better place for them.
Yes, and ditto what Diana said. And you know, there are many ways if you can't donate, although we do have several levels of donation available. We even have a $2 program up to helping us build shelters. Check out our website. But again, sharing on social media platforms, helping us get the news out and spread the word is extremely important. And we just love our Gentle Giant family more than we can say. And of course, our matriarch, Lek, and thank you, Derek, for walking this journey with us. We are just thrilled.
Yes, and we want to thank Stacy for bringing us to you. So thank you, Stacy and Sandra.
Excellent. Yeah, Stacey has been a supporter from the start. So yes, thank you from me as well. Okay, brilliant. And I think just kind of reiterate what you have both said. It doesn't, if you don't have the funds or whatever, it doesn't take a lot to be able to spread the message just by sharing and talking about it. The more people that are aware of it, the bigger the audience, and we can continue to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And if you've enjoyed this interview, then please do head over to the What Does a Giraffe Say Media Facebook page, where we've been interviewing many different people in conservation, and there's more to come to follow over the next few weeks as well. And again, having that support all just goes to help spread awareness of the incredible work people are doing all over the world. So from me, I just want to say as well to Colby and Diana, thank you so much for coming on. You're doing great work. I'm going to be cheering you guys on, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how everything pans out for you. And thank you everyone back home for tuning in and for your support. Some really great comments coming through, and I'm sorry we couldn't get to all your questions, but we'll try and do that after the live. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathleen, very much.
Enjoy the rest of your day.